Cyber attacks are one of the scariest realities that humanity today may be facing. And actually, the eradication of cyber attacks in many systems that are currently vulnerable to them today may perhaps be one of the biggest use cases for distributed ledgers that there is. If we look at where this space has came from, of course, we know that Bitcoin very much spawned this industry, trying to enable an alternative to money and a store of value. And since then, it's been nothing short of a success. But from Bitcoin to now, the use cases and applications of distributed ledgers have very much changed, grown, and really been applied to anything. When you think about Bitcoin, really all it is a decentralized network of computers that maintain a software, an algorithm, if you will. Now, you can apply that very basic infrastructure with an incentive mechanism like a token to practically any use case out there. And one of the biggest use cases, like we said at the start of the video, is to be able to potentially eradicate many vulnerabilities in today's systems that may lead to a global cyber attack, very much like the one that Klaus Schwab, the head of the World Economic Forum, is talking about. That's what we're going to be discussing in this video today, ladies and gentlemen. You will all know by this point, if you're a subscriber to this channel. If you're not, you've got to ask yourself, what are you doing if you're interested in crypto? That I'm a massive fan of the internet computer blockchain because it is doing something, quite frankly, different to what the rest are doing. DeFi was a massive sort of use case for the cryptocurrency space. But I am not that bullish on DeFi, if I'm being honest with you, ladies and gentlemen. I think DeFi is a very small application of what this technology is capable of doing. And there are far greater ones like DePIN, like AI, like money itself, and like the kind of cybersecurity services that building upon these distributed ledgers can offer that can essentially save humanity in some cases. Now, blockchains do not, and it's a very good pushback, eradicate absolutely everything. But in regards to systems that we currently use and utilize today, they eradicate quite a lot. They essentially are going to, and we're going to look at this, and we're going to go back to that tweet from Dominic Williams when he talks about this idea of blockchain singularity, and the fact that 99.9% of people don't actually understand why blockchains or what blockchains truly are. So we are going to be looking at all this. I want to start things off. So this video has been circulating. Now, this video obviously came on the back end of what took place just the other day, where we saw major IT outages due to CrowdStrike, a software that has blown up the very IT it means to protect. Now, there's a lot, people are still trying to really work out what happened here. And blockchains, like I say, don't solve everything. But what they do, and what they are going to do, is replace the current IT stack that we have, which pieces together many different elements, and with many of these elements there's a centralized point of failure. You know, Chainlink themselves actually highlighted this. So this is from Chainlink. Global IT outage like today highlight the crucial need for decentralized systems immune to a single point of failure. That's really what ICP is trying to do, and it's actually trying to essentially remove many of the layers and take out many of the attack vectors that the current services of today are built upon. You know, when you look at the internet, there's many layers to it. There's a cloud provider that's usually centralized. There's often a data storage that's usually centralized. There's a software that's usually centralized, so on and so forth. You can decentralize that whole stack, and actually you can do it all in one place. That's done, you might think, okay, that's reintroducing centralization. That's done in a decentralized manner. So there's no one single point of failure. And this video is obviously circulating on the back end of that. We saw lots of outages. We saw businesses come to a standstill. I think this is a glimpse of a real threat that faces humanity. Of course, this is Klaus Schwab's video where he talks about a frightening scenario of a cyber attack, and he said actually a cyber attack would make the events of March 2020 look like a very small thing. I don't think March 2020 was a small thing for anybody. You know, I still think everybody's kind of almost shell-shocked with that entire, first for me, obviously in my lifetime, to even experience anything like that, the sort of closing down of many things on a global scale, and the introduction of the government to pay people's wages. But we don't want to go down that rabbit hole. It's not what we're here to discuss. I don't think that necessarily blockchains can solve that problem that we saw, but there might be elements that they can in regards to payment systems and things like this. But This was really interesting because it really, I'm not going to play the clip or I'm not going to play the audio, but this, of course, is essentially what was spoken about, a frightening scenario, causing power outages, causing hospital services to shut down, causing transportation to shut down, like what we saw with some of the airlines. We see hacks consistently. This is Dominic Williams highlighting a few. If you're an AT&T customer, 127 million devices are connected. A hacker now has your phone number, associated call log, and text messages. Imagine a better future where application systems and services are immutable to cyber attacks, which is essentially what ICP is trying to do. We're going to look at that. We've played lots of clips and we're going to continue to highlight this because I think this perhaps may be one of the biggest applications for a distributed ledger there are. What people don't realize is we've gone from this use case of just money or DeFi services relating to money to actually now, in what other ways can we use a distributed ledger? In the same way that it can make money and payments and things like this more efficient, it can do that with pretty much anything, guys. Chainlink was the first thing that made me think, so we can actually facilitate data feeds in a decentralized manner through a decentralized network, incentivize it, make it immutable, make it tamper-proof. Well, now you can do that with anything. And with smart contracts, when you remove that kind of human error, that kind of middleman, you create a far more efficient system, and you can apply that essentially to any service market that there is. So this is, of course, AT&T, which I believe it must be a phone company. One example of hacks. This is, and we know what took place. Obviously, wasn't a hack with CrowdStrike. It was an update that essentially caused things to go down. Lots of people speculating that on that. I don't want to go down that rabbit hole. I was just about to, but. This is the latest example of why enterprises and govs need to build applications that are immune to cyber attacks. Using ICP cybersecurity simply doesn't work. So not as serious as London hospitals' recent cancelling of 1,000+ surgeries due to ransomware, thankfully. But this is a Taylor Swift era tour hack, leaks 440,000 tickets, raises ransom demand. And then, of course, this is... another example in regards to a London hospital cancelled over 800 operations. Some of these were pretty serious operations that could have indeed been life-saving. The world needs blockchain, ladies and gentlemen, and I think it's an amazing revelation for us that actually, people, this sort of term SHIT coin gets thrown around a lot, and I can understand why. But what a lot of the Bitcoin maxis don't realize is that actually the scope for distributors, there's a bigger use for distributed ledgers than money, which sounds absurd, right? But no, there is. Think about the internet. Think about DeepIn and what these DeepIn networks are doing. And when we talk about a cyber attack, okay, some people say, okay, well, blockchains don't fix everything, and they don't, but they fix a big part of it. When you think about transportation getting shut down, when you think about through hacks, when you think about London hospitals like we looked at, when you think about phone lines, these sort of things, running on a blockchain can prevent these because you make them immutable. That's what these blockchains are supposed to be, and they're decentralized enough so there's no one point of failure. Then if you can actually enable the internet upon the hardware that actually runs an internet through DeepIn networks, you've then got that extra kind of barrier, if you will. If the internet's really just made up by 3 or 4 major companies on the lion's share, if they went down, that'd be a big problem. You need to decentralize this. The issue that I think we're yet to still see solved is in regards to energy. So there is still a major crossover between actual energy and the input of that enabling all of this. And if there was an attack vector there, which you'd eliminate an element of it by building upon blockchains, it's more a physical threat if you adopt blockchains than a cyber one, if that makes sense. So what these blockchains are potentially going to do is it eradicates cyber threats. There is still the physical threat element. Okay, let's say a pipeline, or I know not that long ago, I can't remember what part in the sea was it, where there's cables running under that facilitate the internet, and there was threats to sort of cut them, if you will. Then it becomes a sort of physical thing, and we're back in the sort of real world, if you will. But we need blockchains to essentially help us against what the likes of Klaus Schwab is predicting, warning about. I'm going to be careful what I say there. And it's apparent. And this is perhaps one of the biggest use cases that there is. And ICP, the Internet Computer, this is what it does. This is what it's positioned to do. Again, blockchains don't solve everything. But They solve a hell of a lot of things, and they're going to be solving more and more things as we move into the world that we are heading towards. What I want to do is go all the way back. We actually read this entire clip out to you guys. It says, crazy fact, 99% of people don't truly understand blockchains, but when you understand, you can see a future that's insanely bright, that runs far beyond DeFi and meme coins. I'm going to explain it all in this tweet. And we're going to scroll down to a really important part as it relates to what we're talking about today. This was a really, really long tweet, by the way, so hence why we're not reading it all. It goes on to talk about the meaning of blockchain singularity. And it says, however, as speed, scalability, efficiency, and other limitations are rolled back, stateful decentralized networks will increasingly provide a superior form of an alternative tech stack. Instead of building systems and services using server computers, clouds, virtualization, orchestration softwares, database servers, application servers, web services, firewalls, anti-malware, and all the rest, humanity will build systems and services that are secured by default, which never get corrupted, which never stop running and need restarting. And in the world of Web3, we will build things like autonomous social networks that run under the control of a DAO that provides transparency and delivers 100% ownership and full sovereign control to internet communities. Stateful decentralized networks, blockchains will function as unstoppable, decentralized and secure serverless clouds where anything can be built in the forms that are vastly more secure and resilient. These clouds will also finally provide a route out of the complexity of the current IT stack. This is also important because the world currently spends around $2 trillion, so on and so forth. Something I just really want to highlight, and I'm going to continue to highlight, because I honestly, truly believe that this is one of the biggest applications for a distributed ledger. I don't want to say ever, but it's a big one. I think deep in perhaps this idea of decentralized cloud computing and this sort of thing, certainly if you look at the digital world that we're moving towards, which needs to be more immutable than it currently is on Web 2 infrastructure, that's a massive use case. That's it from me, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to love and leave you on that note. If you've enjoyed the content, I want to know your opinions on it. On that note, I'm going to love and leave you. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section, and I'll see you all in the next one. Thanks a lot for watching, everybody. See you in the next.